Welcome to the Charcoal Barbecue Kitchen. Today I'm going to be discussing the very fascinating subject of how to make charcoal in your backyard. This is something that I've had a lot of time to research during 2020 with the COVID-19 lockdowns and a lot of free time that I've had. I have access to a lot of free wood throughout the city, hardwood and softwood, and I have a free retort that I've made here, retort chamber, with a couple of pails put together and a pipe through it. And this pipe in the middle allows the heat from my firing chamber to get into the middle of the retort chamber. And I've just loaded up the bottom pail with as much split wood as I could. These are just long split pieces that will project into the top part of the retort chamber. And the goals of my research on retort design is to make a retort that produces a lot of lump without making much smoke. I want to make a retort that produces a large amount of lump quickly. Time is a valuable commodity, which a lot of retort designers seem to forget. And I want to do all of this on a $0 budget, of course. I also want to create a retort, if possible, to sit on a deck or a patio and be fired during the day, like it's a barbecue to bake wood. I would really like to make something like an offset smoker that is baking the wood. I want to create a retort also that allows heat to penetrate deep inside the chamber with pipes or other segments to allow heat to penetrate it. This will cause it to bake faster. Some issues with current retort design that I've seen on YouTube and on the net is that a lot of retorts are designed irrespective of the time it takes, just like I said. For example, the Hookway retort takes 7 hours to make 24 pounds. The Barbecue Pit Boys recent video takes 6 hours to make about as much fuel as I just made in this retort. Absolutely ridiculous. Some retorts look like a NASA rocket project, and there's not enough focus on backyard neighborhood retort design. Also, many retorts utilize a rocket stove insert in the middle, maybe a bigger pipe than I'm using, but they only heat the chamber from below. This takes a long time to get the retort chamber hot, folks, especially when you're using green wood like I'm using. I believe most retorters are using seasoned wood, so it will start off-gassing faster. However, I don't have time to use seasoned wood. So first step here is to ignite a campfire in your backyard. I'm using my new charcoal chimney to get the ignition wood started. And I've cut my 50-gallon drum in half to make a smaller firing chamber than my other video shows. And you can look that up on my channel. I'm using a USB fire starter to ignite the paper. The charcoal chimney was not allowing enough air to ignite the paper, and it wouldn't allow enough paper either to ignite the fuel. So that's why I put the legs on the charcoal chimney, and it's working a lot better lately. And then the upper chimney with the pipe in it creates a larger draw to increase the speed with which the fuel is igniting. And now we've got the campfire going with some pine. So you want to use cheap pallet wood or softwood or some junk wood lying around to get the campfire going. You don't want to use valuable hardwood, of course, because that's what you want to make charcoal out of. And the firing chamber now is getting really hot. It takes about 10 pieces of wood to fire the retort chamber. The retort chamber is now inside the firing chamber. And we're starting to see some gases come out of the joints. I've placed the joint of the two pails downward into the fire so it will ignite when the time comes. We're probably about 45 minutes in here. It's not starting to ignite yet. It's just off-gassing a lot. Now you can see here the pipe is going through the middle of the retort, and that allows the wood inside to be cooked, and that's going to increase the speed with which this whole retort is converting the wood to charcoal. I think this would take 3 hours plus without the pipe. Maybe even longer. Now we're off-gassing. I believe it's ignited. That's a very clean burning process with a real raging fire. Like I say, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to reach the off-gassing phase, so I don't know how these other retorters are reaching the off-gassing phase. They must have to use an awful lot of insulation around the outside of the retort chamber, and using seasoned wood as well. I want to use green wood. In fact, I use seasoned wood and green wood here in the retort chamber, which I fired about 5 times, and there was no difference in the carbonization time. Here we're at an hour and a half. The off gases are burning still, despite the fact that the logs are almost burned out. There's a lot of coals in the bottom of the firing chamber. So this is going to go another half an hour maybe, and it'll just suddenly stop at about 2 hours, 2 hours 10 minutes or something like that. And then I dump the retort charcoal into a barbecue and snuff the fire. Sometimes I had to pour a little bit of water on it to get it fully out. But look at this. It's just beautifully carbonized, folks. 2 hours to make 10 pounds of charcoal, which is what this is producing. My last batch was 9.6 pounds or something like that. Just incredible and beautifully carbonized. Look at these big pieces too. It's like the Kamado Joe Big Block. I mean, so much better than maple leaf charcoal, which you can buy in Canada, with horrible little pieces. Please feel free to comment below or contact me at charcoalbarbecuekitchen@gmail.com. I would just love to discuss making charcoal or retort design.